Have you ever wondered why some people seem to learn English so easily while others struggle for years? Why does listening to a story, a podcast, or even a YouTube video sometimes feel more effective than hours of grammar drills or vocabulary memorization? Today, we are going to uncover the secret behind it, the fascinating psychology that makes learning English not just possible, but exciting and natural. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your brain loves stories, how your mind remembers better when you feel connected, and how you can use these secrets to boost your English learning faster than you ever imagined. Learning a language is more than just memorizing words. It's about wiring your brain to think, listen, and understand. Psychology tells us that our brains are not just storage devices, they are pattern-seeking machines. When you hear a story, your brain doesn't just listen, it visualizes, empathizes, and connects emotions to the words. That connection is the key to remembering, understanding, and using English naturally. In this video, we will explore the psychological principles behind English learning success and show you exactly how your mind can become your best teacher. One of the most powerful drivers of learning is curiosity. When your mind is curious, it releases dopamine, the same chemical that makes us feel joy and excitement. Think about it. When you're listening to a story and you wonder, what happens next? Your brain is fully engaged. This is what podcasts, storytelling, and YouTube lessons can be more effective than traditional textbooks. Your brain is not just absorbing words, it's actively predicting, imagining, and solving problems. Curiosity turns learning into a game, and your brain loves games. Psychology also shows that emotion greatly enhances memory. When a story makes you laugh, cry, or feel inspired, your brain creates stronger connections between words and meaning. That is why stories are so powerful for learning English. Even if you hear a new word just once in an emotional story, your mind is far more likely to remember it than if you tried to memorize it from a list. Listening to podcasts or stories not only improves vocabulary, but also strengthens comprehension, pronunciation, and natural sentence patterns, because your brain experiences the language in context. Another psychological principle is repetition, but not just any repetition, spaced repetition. Your brain remembers better when it reviews information at intervals rather than all at once. That's why hearing stories repeatedly, whether you replay a podcast or rewatch a YouTube lesson, is extremely effective. Each time you listen, your brain strengthens neural connections, gradually making English feel natural. Over time, words, phrases, and sentence structures move from short-term memory to long-term memory, which is where true fluency begins. Passive listening alone is helpful, but psychology shows that active engagement boosts learning even more. This means asking yourself questions while listening, predicting what might happen next, repeating phrases aloud, or summarizing the story in your own words. Active engagement activates multiple parts of your brain, including areas responsible for speech, comprehension, and memory. This is why interactive podcasts, story-based exercises, and even pausing and repeating lines from YouTube videos can accelerate your English learning dramatically. One common barrier to learning is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of speaking, or fear of sounding silly. Psychology teaches that when we remove judgment and embrace mistakes as learning opportunities, the brain adapts faster. Storytelling creates a safe learning environment because you can listen, repeat, and understand without pressure. The more you expose yourself to English through stories, the more your confidence grows, making speaking and thinking in English feel natural. Words and grammar are not learned in isolation. The brain remembers patterns, not rules. When you hear English in context, through stories, dialogues, and real-life examples, your mind sees how words fit together, how sentences flow, and how emotions are expressed. This contextual learning makes it easier to speak and write fluently, because your brain doesn't just memorize, it internalizes patterns, which is the core of mastery. So, what can you do to apply these psychological principles? Listen to English stories or podcasts daily. Make it a habit. Focus on curiosity. Ask yourself questions while listening. Engage actively. Repeat, summarize, or predict what will happen next. Embrace emotion. Stories that touch you will help your brain remember better. Repeat and review. Spaced repetition strengthens memory naturally. If you want to learn English faster and enjoy the journey, start listening to stories daily. Right here on Hear and Learn, every story you hear is designed to make your brain love English. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join thousands of learners who are turning listening into learning. Remember, your English fluency doesn't come from memorizing. It comes from hearing, feeling, and practicing. Start today, and your future self will thank you.